Well, my friends, I've decided to do it. I am going to vlog every day in August. And in today's vlog, I'm going to explain why I'm going to vlog every day in August. And I'm also going to talk about my concerns about doing so. But to get things started, I'm going to rewind to how I started my day. Here's the deal. It is Wednesday, August 1st, 2017. And I've heard of this thing called VEDA. Now, VEDA stands for Vlog Every Day in August. At least that's what I think it is. I haven't even done very much research into it, but I know my friends talk about it every year. And one thing is for sure, and that is, for me lately, I've spent too much time over the past several weeks consuming content and not enough time creating it. Don't get me wrong, I think consuming content can be great, especially when you're very intentional about the kind of content that you're consuming. But when you're a content creator like I am, there comes a time when you're crossing the line, I think, where you're consuming so much content and you're thinking, wow, so many people are creating so much content, and on YouTube they look so much better and have so much more visually appealing content that why should you bother adding to the mix? When I start thinking like that, then I know that I'm consuming too much content and I'm not creating enough. And that's why I'm thinking, hey, I might want to give this a shot, this vlog every day in August. I know that I'm not a huge fan of daily content, but I feel like I need to create. Inside of me, there is something that says I need to create. And I'm in a very busy season of life right now. I'm in the final week of a podcasting A to Z course, a 4-week course where I'm teaching 20 students how to successfully launch their podcast. It just so happens that my wife's birthday is coming up. It's been a lifelong dream of hers to go see Tim McGraw and Faith Hill in concert together. We have purchased tickets for her and I to go to this concert together, and it just so happens to be this Friday night. And we don't live in Nashville, so we have to actually drive to Nashville on Thursday, and we'll be in Nashville on Friday. And that's the final 2 days of this course. The busiest, the craziest 2 days of my course. I'll be traveling to Nashville and in Nashville. We're taking our 3 kids with us. It's gonna be a lot of fun. They're gonna hang out while we're at the concert. They're gonna hang out at the hotel. I'm sure they'll have a pizza party and have all kinds of fun stuff. On Thursday, I'll work half the day here at the house, and then we'll head out for Nashville. Stephanie will probably drive so that I can have my laptop in hands or in lap and do a bunch of answering of questions and tech support for people who are waiting till the last minute to launch the podcast. So I'll be doing that on the drive down. And then on Friday, I guess Stephanie and the kids will do all kinds of fun stuff roaming around Nashville. I'm gonna be hanging out at my friend Dan Miller's place, The Sanctuary. I'll be working from his place on Friday, the last day of the course, wrapping up with my weekly group coaching call. But you know what? You guys will probably see and experience a lot of this stuff because I'm gonna vlog every day in August. There are a couple things that have been tripping me up in my head. Number one is, when do I have time to vlog? Well, you have time, the same amount of time every day of your life. And I have always said, you make time for the things that are most important to you. And the question is vlogging one of the things that are most important to me? And inside my heart, right now, the answer is yes. And it's not vlogging, by the way. It's content creation. I feel compelled to create content. It's a part of who I am. It really is. I mean, if you go back to why did I leave my career in insurance? Why did I decide I wanted to leave that path and go down a different path? Is it so that I could make lots of money as a coach and consultant? No, it wasn't. I mean, that's how I fund what I feel called to do with my life. How I make a living and what I do for a living are closely tied to one another. See, what I do for a living is I create content that is entertaining, educational, encouraging, and inspirational. That's what I do for a living. And how I make a living is by teaching people how to do what I do and what I know. Not just in the technical aspects of how do I create content, but what is it that I've been able to accomplish through the content that I create? And that is feeling a sense of community with people, building relationships with people online around the world, connecting with people one-on-one between me and them with so many people around the world, connecting people to each other, people who would have never met otherwise around the world, making people's lives better through the content that I'm creating. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. I'm not going to stop working out. I'm going to finish working out, but I'm going to stop this portion of the vlog because I don't want to squeak through the whole thing. I'll be back soon. 45-minute spin bike workout completed. Special shout out to Amy Schmidhauer. I've been listening to her Vlog Like a Boss audiobook while working out. And by the way, for those of you who have told yourself, and I've done this before, I'm guilty here, that, you know, I can't work out unless I'm listening to some super high intensity, high beat music. I'm telling you, if you want to, you can work up a good sweat for 45 minutes while listening to an audiobook or an audio podcast or taking in some other content that is inspirational, informational, that helps you take your life and everything else that you're doing to the next level. Thank you, Amy Schmidhauer, for your audiobook, Vlog Like a Boss. Of course, for those of you who like to read, it's in text form as well. I'll put a link to both in the description of this YouTube video. Okay, so that's where I am so far. It is now 8 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning so that I could fit vlogging into today. And I did that intentionally. I knew that August 1st was coming and I wanted to vlog every day in August. And that's one of the things that I had to do to be able to pull this off, is find the time and make the time to create these videos. Let me just say, it takes at least an hour to just do the production and the editing on even a simple vlog like this, at least to do it to the level that I personally want to do it. And that doesn't even account for the time that you spend creating the content. So yeah, I'm going to have to make time every single day. And the question again is why? Why do I want to vlog every day in August? Now, I've already alluded to this while I was on the spin bike, but another thing that occurred to me is that I find myself where I tend to get a little discouraged or overwhelmed or burned out when I spend all of my time helping other people learn how to create content, where I spend all day, every day, all week helping other people launch podcasts, where they're getting their message out into the world. And when I find myself not being able to create my own content, I get a little bit jealous of the fact that they're creating, they're actually putting messages out into the world. And so what I found is that when I do these 4-week sessions of podcasting A to Z, I sometimes lose sight of the fact that, hey, what about creating my own content for my own audio podcast? What about creating content for my email newsletter? When I lose sight of creating my own content, I get burned out. And so I know it sounds crazy, but doing more would actually burn me out less. Yeah. At least we'll find out. We're going to find out at the end of August if that's the case. Another aspect of wanting to vlog every day is the fact that I know that I thrive when I challenge myself to do extreme things. I thrive on challenges. For example, one of the things that I thrive on is the fact that I made this commitment back in November of 2014. I'm working out 6 days a week, every week, for the rest of my life. And that challenge is a challenge, but yet I thrive when I actually live up to that expectation that I've placed for myself. Just recently, I wrapped up 100 days of clean eating, where I went 100 days without eating any sugar, any artificial sweetener, no bread, no pasta, and no deep fried foods. Eating all clean, natural, healthy foods for me. And that's 100 days without a single grain of added sugar in any ingredient in any food that I ate. And you know what? I felt awesome doing it. It was a challenge. I thrive on challenges. So this idea of going 30 days in August and vlogging every single day, on top of the other content that I have to create for my audio podcast and also my email newsletter. Yeah, I'm going to thrive through this process. I know it's going to be challenging. I know it's going to be difficult, but for me personally, my personality, I thrive when I give myself these challenges. So that's another thing that goes into this. And that actually leads me to the next thing that I'm thinking about. And that is that I have my own little quote or saying. You know, all those motivational speakers and communicators that have all kinds of quotes attributed to them. Maybe somebody else has come up with this. I have no idea. But as far as I know, I've come up with this quote. And that is, do something or be someone worth talking about. And it's about this idea of how do you get the word out about who you are? How do you spread your message? How do you grow your audience? And one thing I believe is that if you do something, or if you simply are, you exist as someone that is worth talking about, then people will talk about you. For example, when I did that 100 days of clean eating, I told just a handful of friends. I wasn't making a big, huge deal to everyone about it. I told a handful of friends. And you know what? Some of them decided to join me in that challenge of 100 days of clean eating. And you know what they did? They were telling everyone. They were saying, hey, my friend Cliff Ravenscraft, this, I mean, like literally there are 5 or 6 different podcasts out there who every single week they were giving updates on their clean eating challenge. And every single week they were mentioning my name. And so I don't do this just for shameless self-promotion, but there is something inside of this for promotion as well. When you make a challenge that says, hey, I'm going to vlog every single day for 30 days in August, I know there are going to be some of you out there that are going to be talking about the fact that, hey, Cliff's vlogging every single day for 30 days. And because of that, I'm going to be able to reach new people. Some people are going to check this out. Some of you might be checking this out now because you've heard that I made this challenge. And the fact that I made this challenge and committed to something so crazy as fitting in vlogging every single day, knowing how much that's going to take for me to be able to pull all of this off, well, that's worth talking about. At least that's what I assume, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case. Now, with all of that being said, I still have some pretty significant concerns when it comes to vlogging every day. We've already touched on time just a little bit and the fact that you make time for the things that are most important to you. And I've already explained why this is important to me. But I am a little bit concerned about vlogging eating into my margin with my family. First and foremost, I want to tell you, my kids and my wife have absolutely zero desire to show up in my vlogs. Who knows? Maybe they'll warm up to the idea, but most of the time when I bring out my vlogging camera, my kids go out of their way to say things that are going to cause me to have to reshoot the whole thing anyway. And you know what? That's fine. I don't want to force them. But my big concern is I want to make sure that my vlog, and specifically editing the vlog, doesn't eat into my time with my family. So most of my work that I'm going to be doing on this vlog has to be done super early in the morning before my family's awake, or it's gonna be done late at night. And I gotta be careful with the late at night because I wanna get up early in the morning. So big concern there on the time stuff. I've gotta be working on that as I work through this process. Another concern, how do I look? Being overly concerned about how I look is a significant barrier to the mindset of vlogging. You know, do I have nose hair sticking out? I have this tendency that I get protein buildup in the side of my eyes, so do I have eye boogies? I mean, do I have the fact that I didn't shave today, and sometimes this angle is not so flattering. Do you see a little bit of extra skin when I look down? all of this crazy, I don't have the straightest teeth in the world and my teeth aren't bright white. I mean, are people gonna be like focused on all of my imperfections? And I'm sure there are some of you out there who are. But you know what? How do you get over that? I think that the way that I'm going to get over this whole how do I look in my vlog, how am I dressed, is my hair messed up, all of this other stuff, I'm gonna have to get over it the same way that I got over the whole deal of getting up on stage and doing public speaking. And the fact is that this isn't all about me. I do it because I actually feel compelled to create content so that I can entertain people, that I can educate people, that I can encourage, and I can inspire people. It really is about creating content that makes other people's lives better. I could just hide and not show myself on video and just do audio podcasting. And trust me, folks, I am not giving up on audio podcasting. It is still my primary method of communication to the world. But the reality is there are some of you who are going to be watching these YouTube videos and that's what you prefer. You prefer following people in video, and because of that, I'm going to be communicating over these next 30 days where you would not have ever heard of me or may have never listened to anything I had to say unless I got over how I might look in video form. So with that being said, I want to apologize right up front. I'm not going to go out of my way every single day to look perfect. And so that's why I didn't shave this morning. I don't need to shave, all right? And yeah, 1080p, 60 frames per second, you can really tell the fact that I haven't shaved today. So be it. And then there's the fact of, well, where do I come up with content for 30 days straight? I mean, quite honestly, there are times when I struggle with coming up with content for my podcast once a week. But now all of a sudden I'm going to come up with content every single day for 30 days. The reality is that by challenging myself to create a video every single day for 30 days, I am going to force myself. I am going to thrive on this challenge of what am I going to say today? And I don't want to just create content for content's sake. I want to create something that has purpose, that has meaning, that's going to make your life better. It's just not, well, I had to create a video today, and so this is what you get. And the reality is that not every single day for me is like super awesome. There are some days that just seem like repetitive, routine days. How am I going to make these 30 days of content interesting, compelling? Well, that is a challenge I don't have the answer for exactly yet, but I am accepting that challenge. I am going to have to come up with some content, and it's going to have to be meaningful. It's going to have some purpose. And I bet you that within me, there's content. Within my heart, within my experience from life, I have confidence that when it comes time to produce the content, that it's going to be there. And so, yeah, I'm up for the challenge. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I'm reminded of the one thing that I found most valuable that I've learned from Tony Robbins. And it goes down to his understanding or his explanation of what the 6 most basic human needs are in life. And for me, what I've decided for myself, what I most want to accomplish out of life are 2 things: growth and contribution. On a consistent basis, I want to be consuming content that allows me to grow, to expand my mindset of what's possible, to help motivate and inspire me to take every area of my life to the next level so that I can become more of who I believe God has created me to be. All right? I want to grow. But I also want to be focused not just on growth, but also contribution. Contribution for me is what it's all about. It ties to this thing. My calling in life is to be a source of entertainment, education, encouragement, and inspiration to others. It never fails for me. Anytime I learn something new, when I read a book, when I read even a paragraph out of an awesome book, I want to just stop where I'm at and tell the world about what I just read and the inspiration, the way that I've processed it. How does this fit in, and can I validate what I just read in this book based upon my experience on life, and how can this motivate and inspire and encourage you? So why do I want to vlog every day for 30 days? Why do I want to go through all this? because I want to be pushed to grow so that I have things to give, and I want to contribute. I want to do what I'm most called to do in life, and that is to provide value to others. And so it begins. This is the first of 30 days, my friends, and I want to invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And for those of you who might be watching this somewhere else, it's youtube.com/CliffRavenscraft. And of course, I look forward to touching base with you each and every day over the next 30 days. And until next time, I encourage you to take every area of your life to the next level.